Today you might feel as though your patience or your sanity is being tested, but do the best you can to reframe your experience rather than feeling like, why me? Maybe ask yourself, what can I do differently this time? It's so easy to feel extremely frustrated when we have been working so hard internally for growth, for progress, and things like that. And then there's this really funny saying, I used to be a people person until people ruined it. That's kind of the energy today, and I'm going to tell you all about it. The first dominant astrological influence is Mercury square Mars. Now, Mercury is communication, and when Mercury is in Libra, there's a sense of being influenced by other people, or perhaps using conversation to influence other people in order to get what we want out of a situation. There's a lot more attention being paid to give and take, energetic balance and flow, and all the subtext, all the reading between the lines and whatnot, looking at body language, right? And Mars is in Cancer. When Mars is in Cancer, we're coming into any situation in our lives with a lot of deep emotions, big feelings, and it's a lot easier to get triggered. So when Mercury, thinking and communicating, is square Mars, which is action, there is a feeling as though the things that I'm doing or wanting to do, my ideas, my dreams, my concepts are somehow being blocked. And when we feel as though we are being blocked, that's when we have the potential for reacting in a really emotional or triggered way. So that's why it's really important to kind of practice patience, practice peace. Don't let other people steal your sanity. Just think, okay, how can I respond to this differently? The second astrological influence today is the Sun forming a really challenging angle to Saturn. And the angle that they're creating is one of these two things are mutually exclusive. These two things cannot exist at the same time. So when the Sun is in Libra, as it is, the theme is harmony and balance. And with Saturn being in Pisces, we're focused on our own mortality. We're thinking, okay, these are big, heavy life lessons. And there's also fear of loss. So here's the thing. If we are approaching our life with a goal, a desire in mind of balance and harmony, but the decisions we make or the words that we say are coming from a place of being afraid of loss, then that's when we are not willing to let go of things gracefully. And we often say things or do things to try and stop the change that is in motion. So if for any reason you see that change is in motion, it's not about blocking it, but perhaps move like water, perhaps see what you can do to redirect it in a way that's working for you. We can't control other people. And when we think that we can, we get very sideways, very backwards, and very confused and very stuck as well. So the best thing we can possibly do is adapt our approach, maybe find a different way of doing things. And one of my favorite sayings is, plans that depend on other people are not plans. So if you're waiting for someone, if you're depending on someone, if you feel as though your entire life is on hold because you're waiting for something from somebody else, either permission, validation, companionship, something like that, this could be one of those days where Mercury square Mars is really activated and you're like, okay, this is what I want to do, but I feel as though this person or this situation is standing in my way. That's when we're faced with a choice. How can I respond to this differently? How can I potentially look after myself and make sure that I'm able to accomplish what I need to instead of waiting for other people? Today's card is the Seven of Cups. And the Seven of Cups is actually a card of really wanting to bring themes of divinity into our heart space. But there's a lot of confusion, maybe even delusion or doubt or disassociation. At its worst, this card can indicate really just checking out, disassociating either with dreams and imagination or potentially with booze or drugs. And basically it's about feeling overwhelmed with our feelings, having a hard time figuring out what's what, and in the end maybe checking out and saying, okay, I can't do this. But the most positive expression of this card is all about using your intuition and maybe taking a little bit of space to be able to figure out what is the most important thing to me in this moment. Is the most important thing permission or validation? Or is the most important thing for me to feel emotionally safe? And how can I make my goal of being emotionally safe? And how can I take that and put it into action in a way that approaches divinity or approaches honor and dignity and respect. So it could be a little bit of emotional turbulation, topsy-turvy kind of thing. But again, if you feel as though you're blocked, don't approach things like a jackhammer to a brick wall. We are not the Kool-Aid guy, right? We can't just bust through. We have to find another way. So move like water is definitely the idea today. I'm Erin. I'm Queen Bee Tarot. Thank you so much for being here, and I will see you tomorrow.